realised that there are only really two options: to either stop, like in a very morbid and crude sense, to, take your own life, or to carry on.
When you're hurting as much as you do on the inside with that sort of thing, when you just don't want to be anymore, you don't want to tell people and admit and say it out loud.
When things were overwhelming and I got really emotional, I always thought, oh, what's the next thing that I can do to hurt myself?
I didn't want to talk to someone about it. I just wanted to sort of pretend it wasn't existing. And then university happened and I thought, oh, God damn, I can't hide it anymore. I need to get some help because I'm not going to be able to do my exams in time. Didn't tell anyone about it. I'd go out a couple times a week. I was going to the gym with my housemates and having nights out and doing all my lectures and stuff. But beyond that, closed the door and I just sort of switched off and, yeah.
I think it was probably a little too late when I realised that something wasn't right. And it was when I had my breakdown. And I have to acknowledge that it's a very personal experience, but I didn't find that the university really helped at all, and I felt that I was just a number.
Yesterday I told my mum I was going to do this and speak on camera about my own mental health, and I don't think she meant any harm by it, but her reaction was, "Are you sure that's something you want?" So when I was at university, I suffered from bouts of depression and anxiety. It took years and years for me to come to the realisation that I was really going to need to speak to someone about these issues if I wanted them to get better. And when you're at your wit's end, that's when you go and seek out help. And then all of a sudden you're sitting on a waiting list for 3-4 months.
They said go to the counselling service. I went to them and they just had one initial session and they asked me how did I feel during that week, and I ticked the boxes and said this is how I feel, and they said they'll get back to me. After that I didn't hear anything from them, and it wasn't until I graduated from university that they said that the service was oversubscribed. And if you don't know the services that are available to you, you can easily be trapped in your own room or trapped with your own feelings and emotions and stuff and do something that you don't want to do, and that would be it. And I'd be gone, no one would have to think about me or have to worry about me anymore, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything either, so yeah.
Got no BSc after my name, but by God, I've got loads of acronyms after my name now. Just not the right ones. Damn it. I have PTSD, PND, and I've forgotten my own acronyms now. Agitated depression, and I felt the uni didn't understand that when I give them a doctor's note, that should be taken as it. That should be, okay, you have these issues. And I feel like they're treating mental illness, because you can't see it, as different than a physical illness. And not only have I got to look after myself and my education, I have to make sure that my children's welfare is met as well. And I feel like that's not been considered. Benny!
We've started running these sessions, which we call inclusive sessions, and these are for any students who identifies as having any mental health issue or any disability.
Oh no! Cheating!
What had happened was I'd internalised this sense of being judged all the time. That became like, no, God is telling me to do this. God is telling me, I need to die. And eventually that boiled over, and I went to A&E, and they were like, well, can you go home? And I was like, no, actually, no.
A lot of things you go to, it's all about trying to fix you or trying to cope, and a lot of the time you don't want to be reminded that you're broken, and it's really nice to come here and it's not focusing on getting you better, it's just focusing on chilling out.
Despite illness, despite being unwell, I want them to have a good parental model. I don't want them to think, if you're unwell, that's it, you can't do anything. I want them to think, despite circumstances, you still can't.
And, you know, the fact that I'm here and living suggests that there is something that I want to do and, you know, some way that I want to make a mark.
And if you're affected by any of the issues in that film, please go to channel4.com/support.